Hey, I'm Mikko, and in this video I want to go through some quick tips on how I use thumbnails to come up with illustration ideas. Sometimes I'm completely creatively stuck. It just doesn't work that way that I start painting and the idea comes. That doesn't always happen. It happens a lot in my videos, but not always. And for that reason, it's important to have multiple backup ways to come up with creative ideas. And this is one of those tricks that is so effective that even now as I speak, I don't have any idea what I'm going to paint in this video, but I know that creating these thumbnails is going to work. I am going to come up with an idea, and I'm this certain of it. When it comes to thumbnails, there are 3 mistakes that people make when it comes to making thumbnails that completely ruin the whole point of making thumbnails. And let me explain, because thumbnailing is all about productivity. It's all about speed. The whole point of making thumbnails is to make really quick ones. I recommend, and this is what I do myself, is that I set myself a time limit. I draw out these boxes first, then I set a time limit that matches the amount of boxes. Even if I fill out all of these boxes, it won't take up that much time, because all the thumbnails that I'm not choosing, they are going to be wasted work. So I don't want to make that wasted work consist of half an hour in the day. Just really quick ones are enough for me to find an interesting shape to work on. And the second most important tip here is details, because details take time, but they also distract from the main hook of your illustration. And the point of these thumbnails is not to have like all components considered in a balanced way. It's to come up with one and only one strong visual hook that you can get excited about. And if you feel excited about it, move on to the next one, because this is not about making a finished small illustration. This is about, the point of this is to come up with those visual hooks for every single piece. And if it just doesn't come, move on to the next one if you feel stuck with the thumbnail that you are working on at that moment. Move on, don't get stuck, and start over with something completely different. It's this kind of like free visual association game, and you're trying to squint and see something interesting. And the way you can avoid getting too precious with the details is use big enough brush that you can't make too many brush strokes in that single thumbnail. And I also recommend making actual thumbnails in size. So zoom out so much in the canvas that the thumbnail is really tiny, that you wouldn't even be comfortable painting a full illustration at that size. As a practical guide, I would recommend zooming out so much that it has the size, physical size on the screen of an actual stamp. That's how you know that you are zoomed out enough, and that can keep things moving really quickly. If you are making thumbnails in black and white, I recommend having only 3 values at maximum, meaning that you have black, white, and only one shade of gray. This means that the visual impact of the thumbnail idea will be clear enough for you to expand on, and the shape language will be strong enough to carry to further development. If you have too many values, it will be harder to kind of pull the main idea and visual hook out of that small tiny thumbnail. And the last tip that kind of pulls all of these together is quantity. If you do enough thumbnails, you will have enough choices that you can see something that you can honestly get excited about. Because if you don't feel excited about your painting idea, it's kind of hard to put that much work into it. So you need to make this fun for yourself. So in this phase, work hard to find that exciting thing. Be ready to be interested in the shapes and look for different interesting angles to your ideas. If the first few thumbnails don't work and you are stuck in like one shape language, try squiggling something completely random and then turning it into an illustration, like an inkblot test of what do you see in this image, to make sure that your ideas are as different as possible. And if you find something that you are already excited about in the middle of this thumbnailing process, use the remaining time to make variants of that interesting hook. Because if you already have found that interesting visual hook, look for different angles and different ways of presenting that same idea so that it has the maximum impact for a full illustration. The main reason why I wanted to make this whole video is to show that when you are making thumbnails for yourself, when you are trying to find an illustration idea, remember that these thumbnails don't have to be pretty. They can be as messy as you want, and they can be done just when you feel like it, because you don't have to show them to anybody else. The point of this is to find an idea that you can get excited about and something that you can work on and polish to its final stage. The point of this is not to waste all of your creative energy in this thumbnailing process, because you are going to need that for the actual painting. So just try to have fun with this, because it can be exciting, because you can make unpredictable marks on the canvas and just find something completely unexpected. So to wrap up these ideas for how to make thumbnails is: be quick, set yourself a time limit. Don't make too many details, because that will distract from the main point, because you are trying to look for one visual hook. And last but not least, give yourself some options, so make sure that your quantity target is high and it forces you to work really fast. And I hope when you're feeling frustrated that the ideas just aren't coming to you, you can use this tool to be active in search of that idea and have control over the situation, so that you are not just waiting, but you are going to find it. Because I didn't have any idea in the beginning of this video of what I'm going to do for this painting, and I was sure that I will find it. And you have to have that attitude that I am going to find something interesting, because sure enough, your imagination will wake up at some point. This is kind of just like creating a very elaborate trap for your creativity to fly into, and once you see it, you just catch it. Have fun catching those creative ideas, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye!